My name is Mike Auburn. I'm principal of Wellington Prep School and College, and I've been fortunate to be that since the school started way back in 2004 and 5. I think the school is unique and different. It's an independent school, but it's a very connected school. So it's connected in terms of reflecting the Rainbow Nation that was our ex-President Mandela's vision. So we're very culturally and racially diverse. I think we also connected in the sense that we across all the age groups. We've now started a high school, which is our latest project. So we have children as young as 2 and as old as 14. And we will eventually have children as old as 18. And they operate together. And then we're also very much a connected school in terms of technology. From grade 7 through to grade 12 when we get it, each child has their own iPads. They use the internet a lot, and they are able to access information that way. If one takes a look at the history of our country, obviously things changed in 1994. We're lucky we started about 10 years after our first free and fair elections. And I think what that's done is that we've been able to start with a fresh slate. And so it's been a foundation of the school that we will reflect the demographics of not only South Africa but our region. Independent schools, I think, throughout the world are sometimes seen as being elitist. And that is one thing we are definitely not. So our school fees for the fee-paying learners are very low by independent school standards. And by allowing the sponsored children to join the school, we have a lot of children who come from quite poor backgrounds. Those children are very carefully selected and monitored, and it's based on financial need. But all of them would come from previously disadvantaged communities. And it just gives us a completely unique flavor. We are not and never will be elitist. And I think it prepares them for the reality of what South Africa and the world is today. I think if you went inside one of our typical classrooms, I think you would find it to be different. I think, first of all, there's a lot of interaction between teacher and student. There's a lot of use of technology, particularly from grade 7 upwards. There's a lot of emphasis on creativity. There's a lot of emphasis on interacting with the outside world, going on outings, and free thinking. We encourage children to think, to question, to argue, to reason, and to engage with their world. As a potential donor, you question how well the money is going to be spent. And I want to assure any potential donors that, number one, it's strictly audited. Number two, there are no admin costs whatsoever. The school covers that. So any donation that comes to the school will be used on the sponsorship program. So we do have very kind individuals who sponsor children. We have some sponsors who sponsor projects, so they'll help us build a classroom, say, for the college. We have other sponsors who might pay a once-off, which will then go to the sponsorship program. And then we have others who sponsor annually. So for as low as probably about €1,500–2,000, somebody every year can sponsor a child. And that child will then remain in the school because of that sponsor's support. So all of our sponsored children are kept absolutely secret. I'm actually the only person who knows who's sponsored or not. Parents don't know, even our management committee don't know who's sponsored. So they're treated in exactly the same way. So although we won't tell potential donors who they're sponsoring, they absolutely can be assured that every cent that is donated will not be used by the school generally, but will be used by that program specifically. We are finding unbelievable talent in our townships and communities. And that talent in overcrowded government schools, sometimes 50, 60 in a class, it's just not coming to the fore. So by taking out even a handful of children from that setting and putting them in a system where they can not only get a good education, they can get a grounding that will stand them in good stead for the rest of their life. You are not only changing their lives, you are changing eventually their children's lives and their children's children's lives, because that legacy that you leave in that child will stretch through generations. And that is why we need the college. We can't stop when children turn 13. We have to take it to the next level, and the next level is taking the children to the end of secondary schooling, and from there, with government support, which has now come in, they can go to universities. By being the school that allows anybody to come across race, culture, and income groups, being the school that really questions and analyzes, being the school that encourages the children to be themselves. We are not going to change South Africa and the education system, but I do feel we can make a small difference in the lives of the children that we interact with.